Welcome back to the channel, Guardians. The Immortal SMG has been the plague of the Crucible for a number of months now, largely unchallenged by other close quarters primary weapons, being capable of reaching silly ranges for a submachine gun. But today, as part of our latest crafted weapon review, the Rapacious Appetite has some interesting perks that allow it to challenge the godly SMG. We'll go over its best roles in PvP, whether it's worth using in PvE, comparisons to the Immortal, and much more. A gentle reminder to leave a like on this video if you find it informative. Let's begin. So, the Rapacious Appetite is a Season 21 craftable weapon, obtainable in Season 21 activities, an aggressive frame 750 rounds per minute submachine gun that deals stasis damage. Before we cover the majority of this video with the PvP section, let's quickly answer the question of, should I bother using this in PvE? The short answer is no. Why, you may be wondering? Aggressives require strong synergy perks in PvE, and this one just doesn't really have any. For stasis users, headstone on an SMG is a complete waste when there are other precision weapons out there that can do it better, and even with the best roll, being arguably perpetual motion for increased reload speed when moving, and frenzy for even more reload and a 15% damage buff, in endgame content at least, it feels very poor. Sure, in low-end content below legend difficulty, it's kind of fun to use, but it being an aggressive frame, and the fact that other PVE SMGs completely outsmart it, such as the Ikelos and the Mini Tool, you may just want to think twice about using this SMG in PvE. That's my 2 cents anyway. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy using it. So, with the boring part out of the way, let's go over the PvP bits. Aggressive frame SMGs have a TTK of 0.67 seconds at tier 3 or below, requiring 9 crits for that perfect time to kill. Whilst tier 4 and above brings the TTK of this weapon up to 0.75 seconds, requiring an additional round to kill. Crits do 21 damage, whilst body shots do 14. The Rapacious Appetite has a very strong recoil direction value of 94, meaning the weapon has a high bounce control, with a base range of 17 meters, which can go all the way up to 19 meters before damage drop off with the right roll. It unfortunately has very poor base stability, making the gun shake when continuously firing, and inherits the same poor base stats like all the other weapons that inherit the unsated hunger trait. Comparing the base stats of both the Appetite and the Immortal non-adept version, with the exception of recoil, the Immortal is the only winner here, the stability alone nearly beating out the Appetite by 20 points. Luckily for the Stasis SMG, the perks that it can roll can help counter the poor stability of this weapon, and by proccing unsated hunger when burning all your abilities, with the best roll available, it gains maximum reload and handling, turning the gun into a spicy contender for the Immortal's throne. Let's take a look at the base roll first. Please note, this roll is my roll. It might not be yours. Hit me up in the comments if your preferred roll is different. Starting with the masterwork, SMGs in PvP specifically, range or stability are go-tos, and for this weapon, range is my pick. The range masterwork, paired with corkscrew rifling in the first column and ricochet rounds in the second, allow the Appetite to hit that 90 meter range and provide stability bonuses that make the weapon a lot more controllable. Remember the 94 recoil stat? By chucking on the counterbalance stock mod, you'll hit 100 recoil direction, allowing the gun to not bounce at all, meaning you can ignore the arrowhead break perk in the first column for more favourable range and stability perks. We mentioned earlier on that the weapon, despite the base roll we've just walked you through, has really poor stability. However, luckily for the Appetite, its third column perks present to us a couple of decent ones that make up for its poor stats. Two in particular stand out. First of all, let's cover Encore. Encore on kill grants a 7-second buff that increases your range and stability and can stack up to 4 times. The issue with this is actually getting those kills when the gun starts to shake sideways due to its stability. Unless you are very stable with your hands, this perk is probably the weaker of the 2 best perks in this column. For me, Perpetual Motion, which is an S tier perk for PvP, makes most of the pain when it comes to the weapon stability go away. When moving with 2 stacks of Perpetual Motion, the weapon gains a massive 20 stability, reload and handling, and if you have unsated hunger procced alongside this, the weapon literally doesn't move at all when firing. It becomes an absolute laser beam, allowing you to max out the reload and handling stat for lightning fast ADS and reloads. Unsated hunger is very strong on this weapon, as it grants an additional 20 stability on top of the 20 provided by Perpetual, so you may want to use a build that can burn abilities quickly. Before we continue with the video, this is your gentle reminder to drop a like and sub if you're enjoying the content. As part of my partnership benefits, the channel now has memberships. For For a small fee, you can get early access to my videos, exclusive schedule updates, and a chance to help me record content. For more info, hit the link in the description. For the final column, there is only one winner here. Cascade Point is difficult to proc when surrounded, and although satisfying when it does work, Target Lock just provides that much more benefit. It lowers the TTK of all resilience tiers to 0.67 seconds, and when paired with all the perks mentioned before the fourth column perk, the gun just becomes absolutely nasty and more than capable of challenging the Immortal SMG. So, let's TLDR that god roll. First off, select a range masterwork, then, whilst counterbalance stock is selected as the weapon mod, to hit that sweet 100 recoil, slot corkscrew rifling for range and stability buffs alongside ricochet rounds for even more range and stability, then slot perpetual motion for bonus stability in the third column, which also provides reload benefits, and finally target lock to achieve that 0.67 time to kill consistently. But the question really is, which SMG is better? If we take a look at D2 Foundry, comparing the best rolls you can get for both weapons, the Immortal loses out in most stats to the Appetite, although this graph doesn't take into account the rangefinder buff on the Immortal, as the rangefinder perk on Immortal allows the weapon to reach nearly 21 meters, which is farther than the Appetite by 2 meters. In other words, range is key, and the Immortal can hit that 0.67 TTK a lot further than the Appetite. Ladies and gents, what I'm trying to say is, if you don't have a god roll Immortal, the Appetite is the next best thing, but the Appetite loses out to Immortal on the key stat. It's a Prowl's weapon after all. The Appetite, when used correctly, can beam Guardians in PvP, but is lackluster in PvE. A 3 out of 5 rating goes to the weapon. And on that note, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and if you made it to the end, slap that like button or let me know in the comments what you think. If you have some time to spare, please check out the video before this, where I talk about Starfield. I want to cover it at launch. Please let me know what you think of the video. One more week until the big final shape reveal. I'll try to give you one more video before then. Until that time comes, this was Plasma Alchemist. Your viewership is much appreciated. Until next time, see you later.